Hello and welcome to Dukascopy TV. I'm Andrew Saks-Mcleod from LeapRate, and today in the studio we have Karin Zalcberg, CEO of Karinza. Hello, Karin.
Hi.
And James Azar, co-founder and director of Karinza. Welcome,
Thanks
James.
for having us, Andrew.
Pleasure. So today, James and Karin are going to discuss various things that are issues within the sales funnel in many Forex companies and other technology companies and binary options firms and so forth, the wider sales aspect, and how their perspective on how these things can be rectified.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. And thank you to Dukascopy TV for having us. I think you brought up a very interesting point, Andrew, in the challenges that a lot of brokers experience today in their sales funnel. Sales funnels today are undefined for the most part. There's no focus in terms of brokers. It seems like everyone wants to offer every instrument possible, and no one's really playing to their strength. Right. Mm-hmm. No one's really playing to their strength.
Right.
And very few brokers, and I think the really successful ones, are really able to identify core values and a value proposition for the end user in order to attract that end user. Now, as competition heats up, we're starting to see this now in 2015, and I think especially after January 15th, brokers are starting to separate themselves. We're starting to see a decline in the amount of people that actually use MetaTrader, which is the first since MetaTrader launched in, what was it, 2005,
6, something like that, yeah.
So steadily over the years,
2005, I think.
Yeah.
Steadily over the years, MetaTrader has increased its market share, and I think it's kind of plateaued, hit its peak in 2014, and now we're starting to see more platforms come up and more avenues for traders, and technology has really starting to catch up, especially on the mobile end of things, where now, especially with the growth being in Asia and China and the Middle East, where the generational gap from going from a computer to a mobile device does not exist like in the Western world, where people just went directly from nothing to smartphones.
Right.
More people are looking for mobile devices, and you're starting to see the people who are able, to develop mobile apps are the ones that have really had success. Yeah. And I think that's the trend going forward. And I think that the lean sales.
And that's why you need to adapt yourself, and to adjust yourself. To the right sales processes and marketing processes. It doesn't matter what kind of method the firm. Any kind of firm, by the way, not just for FX industry and binary option industry, any other firm that is selling service or product,
especially online services and products.
That's right, especially online, have to adopt the right approach to the end user. And what is the right approach? Well, the right approach for us, this is something that we're teaching in Karinza, is we're not selling anything, right?
Right.
We're not selling. We're actually assisting the client to get a decision why to buy. And that's a different state of mind. When it comes to customer relation, we are talking about giving the customer the right solution that is suitable for him. Because the most important thing is the client, right? By the end of the road, it's not relevant what we want, and it doesn't relevant what the company is really selling. What is relevant is the added value.
Correct. The value proposition.
That's right. The value proposition, and more than that, people will buy from you if they will like you, trust you, and if they will recognize the value.
Correct. And I mean, that's something that I think, in today's competitive industry, I think more and more brokers are heading to the whiteboard. Yeah. And they're trying to identify, what is my value proposition? How am I different from these brokers? And what kind of offer can I value? I mean, I remember when I started in the FX industry being, at the bottom of the barrel as a phone sales rep, and phoning customers from all over the world, trying to solicit deposits into the firm I was working for at the time. And I just remember, and this is, I'm talking, 2009. So this is like very, kind of at the time, this was like a really we were educating the customer what is Forex to begin with, because a lot of people did not understand what Forex trading was all about.
Right.
And we were comparing Forex to stocks, which is what has been the traditional trading avenue for a lot of people in the world, and up until, you know, Forex really grew. And today, you know, in a lot of European countries at least, and especially in Asia, and having traveled so much over the last, you know, 4.5 years in my career, I see that Forex has a better understanding and grip than stocks. People don't really trust the stock market.
No,
I think too many crashes once every 7-8 years is for a lot of people, and people losing money.
Yes, but people trust more the FX market because of the branding. It's well branded. It's not like the stocks market.
Right,
the stocks market is not that well branded like the FX market.
Okay, so do you think you can take this is an interesting thing. If you've got a very branding orientated electronic product, which is what it is,
Yeah.
can a sales funnel be conducted really in the future by purely technology and video imaging and reaching out to customers via mobile platforms? And therefore what you're doing is you may be reducing some of the personal aspect, which is no good in some places, but you're also reducing the behavioral conflicts, the having to manage a very large human resource center, and recruiting, and you know, there's sometimes in some companies, especially some of the smaller retail firms, the staff turnover in some of the sales departments is very, very high. So by doing a mobile platform, you've got an investment in technology, and then using some kind of outsourced platform to produce videos and produce sales content. How effective is that compared to operating a traditional sales floor?
It doesn't matter, because anyway, the way I see it as a professional persona in the industry, you will always have to have a back office, which includes, of course, sales floor. It doesn't matter if it's a big sales floor or a lean sales floor. In the both situation, I believe in human beings. Okay, I believe in humans and HR. Okay, you cannot like run an operation which is demanding support. You can't ignore the fact. You can't just automate sales 100%. Now, we can't be mistaken. We can't mistaken here. Okay, why? Because it's going to. We will have sales automation. It will. It's already here.
It's already here.
Sales
automation is already here. I mean, Plus 500 is a great example of sales automation. But then to take that to a mobile platform, and kind of what you were saying in terms of video content, I think our industry is very, very, very dynamic, and I think the human factor cannot be taken away, because very simply, one S&B decision, another January 15th, the fact that you had humans on the phone was
more relaxing.
A lot of people felt more comfortable when they got a phone call or when they called the broker that a human answered than, "Thank you for calling, leave your name and number," and someone from our customer service department with 4 people got back to you.
Yeah.
In fact, the backlash from those bigger brokers was almost non-existent, because they had the HR in place, and the second that happened, they were able to effectively communicate it through humans, and there has yet to be a really successful platform in any industry that has been able to replace humans. And if you look at airlines, for example, where they encounter January 15th, you know, 20-25 times a year sometimes, they still haven't been able to replace the human factor.
Right, and this is a good example. That's an industry sector which has pretty much no profit margin at all.
Correct.
It's totally. If you want to look at it the other way around, the airline industry is the opposite way around to ours.
Correct.
It is lots of very expensive hardware and machinery, maintenance costs, physical investment in physical aircraft, which is millions and millions of dollars, and all the bureaucratic regulation. We complain about regulations. I don't, but some, I don't. But some people complain about regulations. They're complaining about regulations. Every month they have to strip their aircraft down.
Correct.
Whereas they're still maintaining massive customer services departments and sales teams. Whereas we are a really, in a way, lean business.
I mean, the airlines industry it's the profits is there.
It's tiny.
Very,
Tiny.
very
Yeah,
that's
tiny.
that's-
It's very
that's-
scanty.
But they still
you
make-
can't even
right.
compare to our
Right, but
industry
you
or any
can't.
kind
No, you
of
can't.
industry.
But my
But-
point
You
is, they're
know?
still keeping very big sales teams and it's paying a lot for human resources, even though their profits are tiny. Whereas
Right.
our profit margins in this industry are very big compared to most businesses which have.
But also the client, the end users of the airlines firms. Don't forget that is the people. Is all kind of people.
Yes, it
it's
is.
diverse. We're
is.
talking about a 16-year-old guy that his parents wants to send him from from Orlando
Right.
to Michigan.
So it's volume.
Or yes,
It's just volume.
and he got stuck on the way, and then the mom or the son is calling to the
Right.
It's very
It's
diverse.
pure volume.
Yes,
Right.
But
Here
so is
in our-
FX.
Just a second, yeah, but also FX. But FX, you have terms and condition. FX, first of all, you have a diverse clientele, but you have also like you can't trade above the age of below the age of 18, right? And also there are certain firm in the FX industry that are working with a certain clientele.
They target their specific audience.
Yes,
Yeah, they do.
like institutional,
Right.
for example.
That's true, but they
And-
still have very few. There are little overheads comparative to some traditional industries, but we're still, what's efficient and modern about our industry, we're still kind of very, very focused on how to keep the sales team very efficient and.
Well, the challenge with
Anything.
this, hang on, and I'll just kind of tell you this. The challenge with having a lean, effective sales team is difficult because Wall Street has had it difficult, and as much as FX tries to kind of stay out of Wall Street, it is a part of Wall Street.
Some of it, yes.
And in a lot of companies, you see kind of Wall Street be kind of the, hey, we want to be, like Boiler Room, or we want to
Wolf of
Wall Street, or whatever those are. And so you see more and more firms kind of want to adapt the Wall Street kind of sales mentality,
style.
not realizing that Wall Street has evolved. So these are people that have not been to the new Dodd-Frank era. They don't know the Dodd-Frank era where your commissions are limited, where what you can tell your client today is very limited, and today brokers don't even rely on talking to customers. Stock today has become very automated. Stock trading today has done that. Forex trading has been that way since inception. I mean, very few brokers still today let you pick up the phone and call their dealing room to put in an order. Very few brokers, very few do that.
But I just want to focus on your just to come back to your primary question. That if with the sales automation world, if we will still need a sales team, well, my answer to this is yes, because you want a little bit human touch. Behind the scenes.
Such an electronic industry that you're saying that there's some human response there.
Right. And not only that, with all the respect to any kind of industry, we are not living in Universal Studios in LA.
Right.
With all the respect to Wolf of Wall Street and Ballroom and different approach in sales, with all the respect, every organization have its own mentality. I'm visiting all kind of organizations that some of them, they have all kind of ways and sales approach to sell the end user. Some of them are more aggressive, some of them are more passive, some of them are more like a high quality of sales. It's like every case. This is my conclusion after all those years that I'm visiting all those brokers. You need to adjust to the product, to the kind of client, and to your mentality, environment, culture, and geo-targeting by countries.
That's an excellent conclusion, yes.
You can't just watch a movie like A Wolf of Wall Street and then go over the phone and sell crap over the phone.
That's right.
It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
Never work like that. But anyway, if we return to your question, if we need Although we have a sales automation, if we still need a sales team, yes, we do.
Right. That's an excellent.
Even
I
if
totally
it's
agree.
very scanty,
I totally agree
yes, we
with
do.
that. That is absolutely
Yes,
right.
we do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's been an excellent discussion, and certainly very much concluding that although we're very electronic, very platform-focused industry, we still need the human feature of the sales team.
Always.
And they must keep their.
It's not only a fix. Everything you
I
sell.
think to kind of sum up everything in just one 15 seconds, because I know we're running out of time, but I will say this. Today's clients still want human interaction.
Yeah.
They still want to be taught by humans. They still want to communicate with humans. They still want to feel that interaction. Brokers today have to realize their core values and value proposition to their end user. They have to train their sales teams to address that value proposition. And you can adjust your margins and still be very profitable if you focus on your strength rather than your weaknesses.
That's right.
You allow growth to become organic rather than, non-organic. I mean, grow with the industry rather than within yourself, and focus on your technology, focus on your value proposition, provide value for your end users, and have transparency.
Trust.
I think brokerages and clients must not lose sight of the fact that it's a very electronic business, but there is still, at the end of the phone or at the end of the system, a very big requirement for a human resource that is there to support the customer.
Right.
So that's really a very good conclusion indeed. I'm Andrew Saks-Mcleod from Leap Rate. This is Dukascopy Television. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.